In this video, I'm going to show you how to take your mobile filmmaking to a higher level. All you need is three things: a phone, a gimbal, and one of these, a monopod. Put these three things together and you've got everything you need to shoot a huge variety of shots. High shots, low shots, crane shots, fake drone shots. Basically, you're only limited by your imagination. And if you shoot solo, the monopod allows you to put yourself in the video, and so it looks like you've got a professional film crew filming you. Right, let's get set up. First, attach the monopod to the bottom of the 3-axis gimbal. Now mount your smartphone to the gimbal. Just power up the gimbal and you're ready. The great thing about a monopod is it's light and it extends really easily. I shoot everything at 60 frames per second in 4K. Now when I edit it, I place it on a 24 frames per second timeline and slow the clips to 40% speed. And this makes your footage smoother and even more cinematic. The fake drone shot is a pretty simple shot, so a good one to get started with. Start recording, lift the monopod as high as you can while keeping the gimbal steady. Move forward at a slow, even pace. This shot can look really nice if you have objects either side, which will add extra perspective, like these trees for example. Next up is the swoop down. This is a great establishing reveal shot. To get this, start high and swoop down as you're moving forward slowly. Start behind a foreground object, like the leaves of this tree. Hit record and now lift the monopod so the camera starts behind the leaves. And now move forwards and slowly down. Remember though, when you're using a gimbal like the OM4, the downward movement has to be sideways. The high sideways dolly is a bit like the fake drone shot. You keep the camera high on the monopod, but instead of walking forward, move steadily sideways. And this shot is perfect for capturing a spectacular view. So an extra option is to start with a reveal or move the camera behind something at the end of the shot. You can also think about using this as a transition when you're editing. The low sideways dolly is a great reveal shot. Move sideways from behind an object close in the foreground. Normally we get the shot with the gimbal held in our hand. The problem is we get some up and down movement. Without a slider or some kind of tracks, it's pretty impossible to keep your hand exactly level. But if you add a monopod, this shot becomes much more professional. To get this shot, extend the monopod enough that it reaches the ground. And now just rest it there, so it takes away that up and down movement. Place the camera behind the foreground object, as before, and start recording. And now move your hand slowly so the camera moves out from behind the foreground, and where the monopod is touching the ground, it acts like a kind of pivot. See how smooth that is. One thing that's often missing from these B-roll videos is the human element. If you have someone to film, then great. But if you're filming alone, you can put yourself in the video and help your audience connect on a human level. Feet tracking is a nice, simple shot to get. Extend the monopod, start recording, and turn it upside down. Hold the camera just above the ground as you move forward at a steady pace. If you use the selfie camera, you can see what you're aiming at better. But if you want better quality, you can try to use the main camera. But it will probably take you a few more shots to get it right. You can take this shot to the next level by adding foreground. What you want is something moving in front, between the camera and your feet, like leaves or a fence. Include this shot in your edit and people are going to think you have a complicated setup with your camera on some kind of tracks. Tracking your head as you're walking really puts your audience in the story with you. In this shot, use your monopod like a selfie stick, except you have a 3-axis gimbal on the end. The monopod allows you to get a good distance without having to extend your arm, and this makes it easier to keep the shot steady and it looks more natural. And if you really want to create a special shot, you can try adding a foreground. In this shot, I swung the camera behind the branch of a tree. The high tracking shot is a more advanced version of the head tracking shot. Hold the camera higher and angle down at yourself. And if you look upwards during this shot, you can match it with an angle up when you edit. Rather than just a shot of some flags, adding myself looking up makes it kind of more impressive. Remember, it's not just the shot itself that is cinematic. It's how it works with the shots before and after the shot. In this shot, you start low and raise the camera into the air. Try to keep your movement consistent. The higher you can go, the more impressive it will be. If you get some wobbles, don't worry. Remember, we will be slowing all these shots down to 40%. So when you edit, go through each shot and find the smoothest part of the shot. Now take that part and slow it down. If there are wobbly sections of the shot, just don't use them. Use the most stable part. And if you have editing software which allows stabilization, you can also add that as well for even more smoothness. In Adobe Premiere, you can't actually slow down footage and use warp stabilizer at the same time. So to get around this, add warp stabilizer and then export out the stable clip and bring it back into the project. And now you can slow it to 40% and you have perfect silky smooth B-roll. Once you've practiced these shots and got the hang of them, you're on the way to creating stunning videos with professional production values. If you found this video useful, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. Everything on this channel is about smartphone video production. So if you'd like to learn more, you can check out some of my other tutorials. For Patreon members, we have a brand new 49-minute tutorial where I explain how I color graded this video. Links in the description or just follow the orange Patreon logo. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you in the next video. Happy filmmaking!